It's another scooter week. Now, what do we think of the Suzuki Address 110? Let me know in the comments what you think. Don't know why I went all slow and whatever then. So this is the Suzuki 110. Quite an interesting option if you're looking for a scooter. There's loads of positives, a couple of negatives, but mainly all positive. Let's have a look around the bike. Usual way, I'll point at a few things I like, I'll throw some specs at you, and let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks again to Into Moto for letting me take this beauty out. So if you're looking for a scooter, one of the key things for me that has to be considered is how cheap is it to run? Well, this, according to Suzuki, claims 145 miles per gallon. That is obscene, in a good way. When you think the average 125, a good one that's quite fuel efficient, maybe 80 to 100, but this 145. So if you've got one or had one, let me know if that is true, because I'm going off the Suzuki spec book with that one. It only has a 5.2 litre tank, but do you need any more when you're getting that sort of miles per gallon? Full tank will be about £6 or something, and it's going to keep you riding for miles and miles and miles, which is brilliant if you're using it as cheap transport to get to and from work. Nice big cushion seat, really comfortable, and you do have those rear pegs if you're going to take somebody on the back. And yeah, part of the rack, you've got somewhere for them to grab onto as well. Buttons, as you would expect really for a scooter like this, which I would say, albeit it's a Japanese made bike, it has been made to a budget. It's been made to keep costs down. So you've not got loads to play with. You've got a horn, you've got your indicators, you've got high low beam. Right hand side, all you've got is an engine start screen, as you would expect. Again, it's a fairly basic dial. Kilometers on the inside, miles per hour on the outside. There is no rev counter or anything like that. Again, it's a budget bike. You still get a fuel gauge though. Let's have a look at practicalities, because scooters quite often will be used by people for a commute to work, or maybe even the odd little shopping trip. It does have a bag hook. You've got your nice step through. It's not particularly big, but you will get a small bag down there. Two of these little storage things down here, and these are fairly deep. I can get a fist in there, but there's no top to go on there, so it's not particularly secure. Let's have a look under the seat, the all important storage. So according to the spec sheet, again, 25 litre storage area. That it will fit a full face helmet in there. You've got loads of room there, that's one good thing. This will use E5 or E10, again a good thing. You don't have to just buy the expensive fuel, you can buy the cheap stuff as well. All about saving money. It has been built to a price, but it's a Suzuki, so they've used decent parts. They've just not used a lot of them. It's got Nissin brakes. As you can see, it's on its side stand. It does have a center stand. This has got a battery and electric start. Single shock at the back, but I've got to say, I have took this bike on the Into Moto cobbles outside. I've took it on the bumpy roads of Warrington, and it soaks up the bumps really, really well. It's actually a really comfortable bike to ride. One really important thing I want to mention is this bike and the weight of it. Now, a lot of scooters that I've been on recently, the weights of being around the 130 to 140 kilograms, so I would consider that to be quite light, because comparing it to the big motorbikes, that is light. This, however, 97 kilograms. That's really light. If you're looking for a bike to push around, this bike, honestly, it feels like pushing round a push bike. It does, genuinely. It feels really, really light. There's no effort in it at all. So if you're looking at a really light bike because you just want to downsize a bit, but you still want to be on two wheels, then this is an option for you. It's 110 cc's. I believe it's around 9 horsepower. Top speed on this, we'll probably be lucky if we get to 50 mile an hour on it. But these bikes aren't built for speed, are they? They're built for commuting. They're built to get to college, to school, to work, whatever you're doing with them. But they do it cheaply, and that's what it's all about. So this bike with Into Moto is up for sale at £1,799, which for me, it's a cheap way of getting into riding. Can't get many bikes now for less than £2,000. It's a Suzuki, and as everyone keeps telling me online, Japanese bikes last forever. And as I keep telling everyone online, they will, as long as you look after them. So this bike looks like it's been looked after. It's a nice looking bike all the way around. So if the new owner looks after it, I'm sure it's got many years scooting ahead of it. Let's go for a ride. Let's see what it performs like, and yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about it, and if you've had one, let me know your experience. Let's go. As you can see, this is how I take every bike out. They all come to wave me off. Well, that's just not very nice at all, is it? I believe the term knob off was used a minute ago. This is the Suzuki Address 110. Now, you can see from the mileage, this bike has been used, but it still ticks over very nicely when you start it up. And you can see just a simple turn around there, nice and easy. The turning circle on this is awesome, and because it's a scooter, they're light as anything, so very easy to do. Let's take it for a little mooch up here, shall we? Cobble test time. Ooh. That's actually quite nippy. I've said it before, but on the smaller capacity bikes, the weight plays a significant role in the performance, because if you are heavy, or if the bike is heavy, it does impact how fast you're going to go. Cheap and cheerful, isn't it? It's not an expensive bike. It's a cheap bike that will get you to and from work, to and from college, whatever you need it to do. It's a Suzuki, it's a Japanese bike, and you only have to look through any of my comments on any of my videos where I go out on a bike. Everyone constantly telling me how the Japanese bikes will run forever. Like any bike really, it will last if you look after it. The mileage on it, it's not particularly high. If you work that out over its 4-year life, it's done less than, what, 3,000 a year over 4 years. It's not a massive amount, but that might be somebody running to and from college or to and from work. And that's what these bikes are awesome for. If you work 5-6 miles, even 10 miles away, what is easier, especially if you're going through a town? I don't think you can beat scooters. I really don't. I love big bikes, I do, but I think for a commute to work, especially if you're going through busy towns, nothing beats the traffic and goes in and out filtering better than these little things. Let me get to 40. So 40 mile an hour, it's still pulling. So the performance on this is alright, you know, for town riding. What more do you want? I mean, you don't want a bike that'll do 100 mile an hour to be just riding around 30 mile an hour roads. So this will more than do the job. I was having the conversation the other day. My bike, my Nikon, so my touring bike, the fuel efficiency on that bike is about the same as my 320 diesel BMW. Very, very, very similar on the fuel efficiency. Now, when you look at them in comparison, the BM will fit 5 people in and carry a hell of a lot more luggage than the Nikon will, and yet the fuel is very, very similar. I find that shocking. Whereas something like this is going to do twice, 3 times better than the car, and yeah, blow the Nikon out the water. That's what I like about these little petrol scooters. they're brilliant for it, they really are. Throw in a couple of pound of petrol and you're riding for a week or two. As scooters go, generally they're all very high seats, or they tend to be. Like, I'm 5'8" with a 29-inch inseam, and I very rarely can flat foot a scooter. Now I can just about flat foot this, both feet, which is a good thing because not everybody is 6 foot tall. This is just a perfect height. It's more suitable, so when you do come to a stop, no issues putting both feet down, which, you know, I can't do on a lot of scooters, admittedly, because I'm average height. No comments. That also means that you can walk. Look at that, no hands. And this is just how easy it is to walk with this bike, forwards or backwards. Just absolutely no drama at all, because the bike weighs 97 kilograms. That is light. That is really light. One point or some point in your life, whether it be age or injury, you all of a sudden can't lift the weight you used to, and you just don't want to. You want an easier life. There's loads and loads of reasons as to why you would downsize a bike. One might be that you just want the cheapest possible transport going, and you just don't want a big heavy thing, and big heavy things will cost more to run because they're heavy, so it takes more effort and more fuel. You get to 30 mile an hour nice and quickly, it gets to 40 mile an hour nice and quickly. Looking at this, it's going to get to 50 mile an hour nice and quickly as well. Now, I've not done a speed test on this bike today. I'm not going to either. But what I will say is, whilst I have looked at a couple of written reviews, I haven't looked at any YouTube reviews, but I've looked at some written reviews about this bike, and they do claim that it struggles to get to 50 mile an hour. However, as I've just shown on a 40 mile an hour stretch, this bike got to 40 and kept going and going. So I've no issues at all with this bike getting to 50 mile an hour. I think it would do it very, very easily. So 40 mile an hour, I'm being battered with wind, and it's still picking speed up. Obviously I'm not now, because the speed limit is about to change. But the fact that this bike picks up speed with a strong wind, with a heavy gentleman on such as myself, the fact that it does that just actually means that this bike's performance is a lot better than the reviews I've seen written about it suggest. That's a really big positive for me, because I thought it would be somewhere between a 50cc and a 125 in performance, judging off the engine size, lean more towards a 125. But I would say this bike is very, very comparable with a lot of 125 bikes that I've been on. The difference with this bike is, on average, I would say it's about 30 to 40 kilograms lighter than other 125s, which is a phenomenal amount of weight. Phenomenal amount of... I can't even get my words out, it's that phenomenal. That's a massive saving. But also the saving on the miles per gallon as well is impressive. But to add to that, the performance seems very much like a 125 machine. In fact, it's better than some 125s I've been on. I've been on 125s that don't pull as well as this. That is actually quite... yeah, it's quite impressive when you twist the throttle. What I want to stress is, no, this is not a rocket ship, and it's not rapid. If I was to compare it to other 125cc scooters, I would say it is very much in the middle of all of that. But the thing is with this is it's a 110cc, so less cc's. What that means to you is more fuel efficient. I would bet cheaper on the insurance because it's a smaller engine, and yet performance wise seems fairly equal to other 125s out there. So yeah, I think it's a win-win as far as an impressions ride goes. I've got to say, it's really comfortable. There are some miles on it, however, it's a Suzuki, and looking around the bike, it does look and appear to have been looked after, because it is a nice looking bike, and I've no doubt if the next owner looks after it, then this bike will just keep going. I'm just impressed with this bike just purely because it's better than I expected it was going to be, and the price less than £2,000 at Intumoto. So if it's a bike you're interested in, come down to Intumoto, see the guys here. I'm sure they can help you out. I'll put a link in the description. Anyway, that's going to do me. I wish I could go and have more fun, because it's just easy rev and go. I love it. Love the ease of riding a scooter. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Laters.